You know the feeling. Your arms are screaming, the plastic handles are digging into your fingers, but you refuse to make a second trip from the car. Maybe it's not groceries. Maybe it's that heavy suitcase you insist on wrestling into the overhead bin alone. It could be taking on that massive project at work, even when you're already swamped. You see the offer of help coming from a mile away. "Can I give you a hand?" And you feel it? A flash of irritation. An almost physical recoil. You might even feel a strange annoyance at them for even noticing you were struggling. It's like an allergic reaction to support. If you've ever insisted on making that one painful trip, this video is for you. If you've ever felt that weird spike of anger when someone offers help, you're in the right place. Because that reaction is the key to understanding a profound and hidden part of your psychology. The question isn't just why you do it. The real question is, why does a simple offer of kindness feel like an insult? The answer is a deep neurological response. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how that powerful circuit works inside your brain. It's a truth you've been quietly managing for years, and today we're bringing it into the light. There is a common assumption that people who refuse help are just stubborn, proud, or even arrogant. And while a little pride might be part of the story, for the vast majority of people who genuinely find it agonizing to reach out, it's something much deeper. So if it's not a flaw, what is it? Think of it like this. Your inability to ask for help isn't a character flaw at all. It's a suit of invisible armor that you've forgotten how to take off. This armor was forged in the fire of your past experiences, designed for one specific purpose: to protect you. It was a masterpiece of engineering born from necessity, and for a long time it worked perfectly. It kept you safe, made you strong, and ensured you could survive no matter what. But here's the problem with wearing armor all the time. The very thing that once saved you has slowly become a prison. It's heavy, it's isolating, and it's cutting you off from the warmth of human connection. If you recognize yourself as the person inside this armor, the strong one who secretly feels weighed down, then you've found your community. This channel is dedicated to exploring these deep psychological patterns, so consider subscribing to continue this journey of understanding. We're going to explore this together. In this video, we are not just going to admire the armor you built. We're going to find the hidden joints and understand the mechanics. Most importantly, we're going to give you a simple 3-step framework you can start using today. This will allow you to practice letting people in and finally discover a safe way to take the armor off. Every suit of armor has an origin story, a battle it was designed for. Yours began with what psychologists call your early relational blueprints. Think of your childhood and early life experiences as the time you were given a set of architectural plans for how relationships work. These blueprints are drawn based on your earliest interactions with caregivers and the world around you. They teach you what to expect from other people. They inform you whether your needs are acceptable or burdensome. And they dictate whether leaning on someone else is a source of safety or a source of danger. For many, these blueprints show a world of reliable support and comfort. But for others, the plans look very, very different. Imagine for a moment a child who learned that being sick or sad was an inconvenience for their busy parents. They might have been told to toughen up, or were simply left alone to deal with their feelings. They didn't learn that needing comfort brings people closer. They learned that expressing a need pushes people away. Or think of the child who had to become a caretaker for a parent or a sibling far too early. They became the little adult, responsible and praised for their competence. Their blueprint didn't show them how to receive care. It only had instructions on how to give it, because that was their primary role. Their value and safety came from being the one who didn't have any needs of their own. Over time, through thousands of these small interactions, a core belief is forged and baked into the blueprint. It becomes a fundamental law of your personal universe. That law is simple. The only person I can truly and consistently rely on is myself. This isn't a cynical worldview you chose. It's a logical conclusion based on the data your young nervous system collected. It's an adaptive strategy for an environment where support was conditional, unreliable, or even absent. Somewhere in your past, you learned a dangerous but life-saving equation. Reliance equals risk. And so, you made the only logical choice available to you at the time. You chose to become your own safety net. You started building your armor, piece by piece. First, it was the small things, like learning to soothe yourself when you were upset. Then it became bigger things, like never asking for help with homework or chores. You learned to handle your own problems quietly and efficiently. You learned that praise and validation came not from being vulnerable, but from being capable. Each time you successfully navigated a challenge alone, another plate of armor was riveted into place. Each time you avoided the pain of disappointment by not asking in the first place, the metal got thicker. This process isn't conscious. It's a survival mechanism becoming a personality trait. The blueprint wasn't just a plan. It became the very structure of your inner world. That is why challenging it feels like you are threatening your own foundation. You are not just changing a habit. You are attempting to redraw the very plans that have kept you standing for your entire life. So we know where the blueprint came from, but how does it become so automatic, so powerful that it can override logic decades later? This brings us to the fascinating science of what I call learned self-sufficiency. You've probably heard of learned helplessness, where an animal or person learns that they have no control over a negative situation and gives up trying. Well, this is the powerful inverse of that. Learned self-sufficiency is what happens when your brain becomes extraordinarily addictively good at doing things alone. Every time you solve a problem by yourself, handle a crisis without support, or push through pain without complaint, you are reinforcing a specific neural pathway. Think of your brain like a dense forest. The first time you tackle a problem alone, it's like hacking a new trail through the undergrowth. It's difficult and requires a lot of energy. But the next time you face a similar challenge, you take that same path. It's a little easier. After hundreds or even thousands of repetitions, that path isn't a trail anymore. It becomes a wide, paved, 8-lane superhighway. Your brain, which is always seeking efficiency, loves this highway. It's fast, it's reliable, and it has a proven track record of getting you to your destination, survival. Now, what does the path for asking for help look like in this forest? It's a tiny, overgrown trail covered in thorns and fallen trees. It hasn't been used since you were very young, and your brain remembers that last time you went down that path, you got hurt. So when you face a challenge today, your brain presents you with a choice. Do you take the fast, familiar superhighway of "I'll do it myself"? Or do you attempt the scary, painful, and inefficient path of asking for help? The choice is neurologically obvious. This is the answer to our original question. This is why an offer of help can feel like an insult or a threat. It's not just a social interaction. It is a direct challenge to your brain's most dominant and efficient operating procedure. When someone says, "Let me help," your nervous system doesn't hear an offer of kindness. It hears a command to abandon the superhighway and venture down that dangerous, overgrown path. It interprets the offer as a threat to the entire system that has guaranteed your survival. The feeling of irritation or panic you get is your brain's threat response kicking in. Warning: unfamiliar path ahead. High risk of disappointment detected. Abort, abort. This is why you can't just decide to ask for help. You're not fighting a logical fallacy. You're fighting decades of deeply ingrained, highly efficient neurobiology. Knowing this should bring a sense of relief. It's not that you're broken or stubborn. It's that your brain is simply doing the job it learned to do, keeping you safe using the most reliable method it knows. To change the pattern, we don't just need a new destination. We need to start, slowly and safely, clearing a new path in the forest. But understanding where the armor came from is one thing. We also have to calculate what it costs to keep wearing it. Because this level of self-reliance isn't free. Hyperindependence comes with a hidden fee, one that you pay every single day. This is what I call the Solitude Tax. The Solitude Tax is the compounding price of a life lived inside the armor, and it is levied in 3 distinct forms. The first payment is burnout. Your body and mind are not designed for constant, unrelenting self-reliance. They are designed for cycles of stress and rest, effort and recovery, giving and receiving. By refusing to share your burdens, you are perpetually stuck in effort mode. You are the engine that never gets to turn off, and that leads to inevitable physical and emotional exhaustion. It's the bone-deep weariness that no amount of sleep can seem to fix. The second payment is what I call brittle relationships. Relationships built on reciprocity are flexible and strong, like a living tree. But a relationship where one person does all the giving and the other does all the receiving becomes brittle and fragile. It lacks the dynamic flow of mutual support that creates true intimacy. Your loved ones don't get to experience the gift of being there for you, which is a crucial part of feeling needed and connected. They only ever see the capable, strong version of you, never the whole human version. Over time, this creates a subtle distance you can both feel but neither can name. And the third and perhaps most painful payment of the Solitude Tax is the curse of the invisible struggle. You become so good at managing everything alone that nobody around you has any idea that you are struggling. Your competence becomes a form of camouflage. This creates a deeply painful and vicious cycle. Your success at being self-reliant convinces others you don't need them, which leads them to stop offering help, which in turn reinforces your blueprint belief that you are on your own. You become a victim of your own success. You're the go-to person, the reliable one, the problem solver. Everyone brings their problems to you, which only deepens your expertise at handling burdens, further strengthening your armor and deepening your isolation. This is the ultimate cost of the Solitude Tax. It's a life spent surrounded by people, but never truly with them. It's the profound loneliness of being completely competent and utterly alone in your struggle. The armor keeps you standing, but it also ensures you stand apart. Calculating this tax is the first step toward deciding if the cost of wearing the armor has finally become higher than the fear of taking it off. Now, for a moment, I want to talk directly to the people watching this for someone else. You're here because you love someone who wears this armor, and you're probably exhausted and confused. You've offered help 100 times only to be met with that familiar, frustrating, "I've got it." It's easy to take that rejection personally. It can feel like your love or your capabilities are being dismissed. But I need you to understand what's happening from their side of the armor. Let me help you with that. You believe you are offering an act of love and support. But to a person whose entire identity is built on being capable, your offer can sound very different. Through the filter of their relational blueprint, your offer of help can be unconsciously translated as a vote of no confidence in their ability to survive. It can sound like, "You look weak," or "You can't handle this." It triggers a deep, primal fear that if they accept help, their core value as the strong one will be erased. This is why they react with irritation instead of relief. It's a defense mechanism, not a rejection of you. So, what can you do? The key is to shift from offering help to offering choice. This simple change is revolutionary because it returns the feeling of control to them. Instead of saying, "Let me help you carry those bags," which is a yes or no question that challenges their competence, try offering a choice. "Hey, I'm heading out. Would you prefer I grab the bags or get the door?" Notice the difference. This question assumes you will participate, but gives them control over how you participate. It respects their agency while still allowing you to share the load. It's a subtle but powerful way to start co-creating a new relational blueprint with them, one where partnership feels safe. Your patience and your willingness to understand the world from inside their armor is the greatest gift you can possibly offer. Okay, that is the why. We've explored the blueprint, the neuroscience, and the consequences. But I know what you're thinking. How do I actually do this? Knowledge is one thing, but action is another. So let's get practical. This is not about suddenly asking for help with a massive, terrifying problem. That's like trying to run a marathon without ever having jogged. We are going to start by clearing that tiny, overgrown path in the forest. We do this by practicing being human, using what I call the micro-ask framework. It is a simple, 3-level system for practicing vulnerability in a low-stakes way. Level 1 is the lowest risk, asking for an opinion. This is powerful because an opinion is subjective, so there's no right or wrong answer, and it implies you value their perspective. Next time you're writing an important email, turn to a colleague and say, "Can I get your eyes on this for a second? Does this tone sound right?" Or if you're shopping, text a friend a photo and ask, "Which of these two options looks better?" These are tiny acts of reliance that begin to build the muscle. Next, we have level 2, a medium-risk ask, asking for information. This is for objective information that you could probably find yourself, but you are choosing to ask a person instead. This directly challenges the belief that you must figure everything out alone. At work, you could ask, "Hey, do you know how to format this in the new software?" Or at a store, you can ask an employee, "Do you know where I can find the olive oil?" These are small, transactional asks that normalize the act of seeking input from others. Finally, we have level 3, a slightly higher risk ask, asking for a small action. This involves someone else briefly expending physical effort on your behalf. This is a huge step. When a colleague is getting up to get coffee, you can try asking, "Would you mind grabbing one for me too? I'll get you back next time." Or in a moment of fumbling with your keys, you can ask someone nearby, "Could you hold this for just 1 second?" The goal here is not even about getting the help. It is about making the ask, and then just noticing the feeling in your body without judgment.
Did your chest tighten?
Did you feel a wave of shame? Just notice it. Each time you make a micro-ask and the world doesn't end, you are pouring a little bit of concrete on that new neural path. You are providing your brain with new, contrary evidence. You are step by step teaching your nervous system that it is safe to arrive on a new shore. Let's bring this all together. For your entire life, you have been operating from a place of profound protective strength. The armor you built is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to what you had to survive. It was a masterpiece of engineering born from pure necessity, and you should honor the person who had the strength and ingenuity to build it. That strength, that fierce self-reliance got you here. It navigated you through treacherous waters and kept you from drowning when no one else was there to throw you a lifeline. I want you to feel the truth of that. The strength that got you here was the raft that saved you in the storm. It was everything. But you are not in that storm anymore. You have landed on a new shore. And on this new shore, the raft that saved you can become the barrier that prevents you from building a new life. On this shore, there are other people. There are materials to build houses, to plant gardens, to create a community. The old survival skill of building a raft alone is not the skill that's needed here. A new skill is required now, the courage to build a village with others. And here is the beautiful secret. The very same strength you used to build that raft, that resilience, that determination, that is the exact same strength you will use to learn how to connect. It is not about abandoning your strength. It is about redirecting it. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from an incredible power foundation. The journey from understanding to action is the core of what we do here. If this process of reframing your past and building new tools for your future is what you're looking for, I invite you to subscribe and join our community. You don't have to do this work alone either. In fact, that's the whole point. Let me know in the comments which part of the Solitude Tax resonated with you the most. And be sure to check out our playlist on building self-worth, which is the perfect next step on this journey. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'll see you in the next video.